All right, let's talk about a new security tool called VibeCheck. It's built on this really simple but kind of radical idea. What if security scanning was actually designed for how developers really code today, in the real world? Let's dig into what that actually means. So if you're a developer right now, chances are you're flying. You're probably using tools like Copilot, just cranking out code faster than ever before. It's awesome, right? But when you're moving at that kind of warp speed, what happens to security? Does it just get left in the dust? And that is exactly where the risk sneaks in. You know that feeling when you're just deep in the zone, totally focused? It's so easy to make one tiny, simple mistake. The creators of VibeCheck have a great name for this: a security foot gun. It's basically an obvious error that seems harmless at the moment, but it's going to cause some major problems down the road. And this really gets to the heart of the dilemma for modern coders, right? You want to keep that momentum going. You want to stay in that flow state. But then, bam, traditional security tools feel like you just ran full speed into a brick wall. They just flood your screen with a million warnings, a bunch of false positives, and all this security jargon. It's just a mountain of noise that totally kills your speed. So this is where VibeCheck comes in and says, hey, let's do this differently. It's not trying to be some massive, super complex auditing tool that takes a week to understand. Nope, its whole purpose is to be a simple first-line safety net. It's there to catch those really obvious dangers without, and this is key, without getting in your way. Okay, so let's properly introduce this thing. VibeCheck is a lightweight static security scanner. Now, the two big words there are lightweight and static. Lightweight is obvious, it's fast. But static just means it looks at your code without actually having to run it. It uses really simple, super fast pattern matching instead of some heavy, complex analysis, and that is the secret sauce that makes it so blazing fast. So here's the official definition, and I want you to pay close attention to the focus here. Clear, actionable feedback. We're not talking about cryptic error codes or vague suggestions that leave you scratching your head. The whole goal is to give you something you can literally fix in seconds, and then get right back to what you were doing, coding. And really, this is what makes VibeCheck so different from the big enterprise tools. It is not about finding every single possible issue under the sun. It's all about these three things. First, high signal, so when you get a warning, you know it's legit. Second, low false positives, so you're not wasting your precious time chasing ghosts. And finally, human-readable explanations. You can actually understand and fix the problem without needing a PhD in cybersecurity. So you might be asking, how does it actually pull this off? How does it stay so focused? Well, it all comes down to a really small, super specific set of rules that are designed for one thing: maximum impact. And here they are, the big three. VibeCheck is only looking for a handful of critical, high-risk mistakes. First up, hard-coded secrets. We've all heard the horror stories, right? A developer accidentally commits an AWS key to a public GitHub repo and wakes up to a 5-figure bill. Yeah, that's a classic foot gun. Next, SQL injection risks. This is where user input could be used to totally mess with your database. And third, unsafe code execution. Things like eval that let random, arbitrary code run in your app. See, it's not looking for everything. It's looking for the stuff that starts the biggest fires. And here's the best part. When it does find one of these things, the feedback is written for a developer, not for some compliance officer in a suit. You get a super clear risk level, a plain English explanation of what's wrong, and real-life context on why you should actually care. It's all about getting it, instantly. Which brings us to the core philosophy behind this whole tool, and it's a big one. When it comes to developer security, sometimes less is truly more. A tool that tries to do absolutely everything can just end up creating more work than it saves. It's a classic trap. So VibeCheck is totally laser-focused. It's built to be amazing at catching those common but incredibly dangerous mistakes that we all can make when we're just trying to move fast. But what's really interesting is that the tool is super upfront about what it doesn't catch. This isn't a silver bullet. It's not going to find some subtle, sneaky flaw in your business logic or a complex authentication bug. And that's on purpose. By intentionally limiting its scope, it avoids giving you this false sense of complete security. It makes sure that when it does raise an alarm, you take it seriously. These 4 principles pretty much sum up the whole vibe. 1, it's fast, like so fast you can run it every single time you save a file. 2, it's opinionated. It tells you what's important instead of just dumping 100 warnings on you and making you figure it out. 3, it's transparent. You know exactly what rules are running. And 4, it's honest. It's crystal clear about what it does and, just as importantly, what it doesn't do. All of that together is how it builds trust. Okay, so given this really specific philosophy, you've got to wonder, who is this tool actually for? Because, let's be real, it's not for every single team or every project out there. It's built for a new, specific kind of developer. And they have a name for this person, the vibe coder. So ask yourself, are you someone who values momentum above all else? Do you just want to build and ship cool stuff without getting bogged down in bureaucracy? Do you find most traditional security processes to be a total drag? If you're nodding your head right now, well, you might just be a vibe coder. To be more specific, this is absolutely perfect for solo developers, for indie hackers, for small teams that don't have a full-time security person on staff. Really, it's for anyone who gets that those simple footgun mistakes are dangerous and just wants a super quick, totally painless way to stop them from happening. And all of this leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. In a world where a developer's attention is probably the most valuable resource there is, maybe the future of security isn't about finding more flaws. Maybe it's about finding the right ones, the ones that really matter, and talking about them clearly. So is less noise the real secret to making security a natural, effortless part of how you work? That's the huge question VibeCheck is putting on the table.